The tribal chief has a confession. When watching the first season of Demon Slayer, I did find it hard to follow Tanjiro as our protagonist. He was very emotional, often would cry majority of the time, and was too much of a goody two-shoes in my opinion when watching the first half of season 1 of Demon Slayer. I didn't really find him that interesting other than him being the typical good guy shonen hero. I didn't watch Demon Slayer because of the main character or the story. I just wanted to watch it because it was a visual masterpiece with its epic soundtrack and vibrant animation that took my breath away, especially in season 2. However, after watching the Demon Slayer movie that adapted the Mugen Train arc, as well as season 2 Entertainment District arc, I grew to appreciate why Tanjiro is not only an amazing shonen hero, but why we need a character like him in the modern era. As I have explained in my Tengen and Rengoku video, Demon Slayer is a series that emphasizes and showcases the positive traits of our main cast of heroes. With Tengen in season 2, it displayed his self-belief and how he can use that self-belief and turn it into a weapon. As we saw when Tengen returned and made that last minute save against Gyataro, Gyataro was shook to the core when Tengen claimed that he can now go for the win and defeat him. With Rengoku, it's more of a never giving up and pushing through no matter what. And that doesn't necessarily mean not giving up in a fight. Rengoku was constantly getting belittled by his dad, calling him trash and good for nothing, but Rengoku still went back to him and kept on updating him on his progress. Despite his dad saying such horrible and abusive things towards him, he still went back regardless. That in itself is another form of never giving up. So it doesn't even have to be through battle. It can be through just pushing through any given situation, regardless of what people are saying about you. You still have to push on through. Now with Tanjiro, he has all those good traits. He's basically the ultimate good guy with all the great characteristics that a good person should have. It's been constantly said throughout that Tanjiro's eyes are gentle and kind. When he killed Rui's mom, she made the comment that it was a gentle slash and she didn't feel any pain. He is kind, gentle, and has empathy for people. He has it all. But what I think Demon Slayer is trying to display with Tanjiro as its main character is that the very first episode we see Tanjiro witness all of his family members being murdered, with Nezuko tragically being morphed into a demon. Such an incident like that would break anyone, but as we see Tanjiro, rather than getting demoralized by the situation and the loss of his family and wanting revenge on the person that killed his family, he ended up making an endgame goal of trying to make Nezuko back into a human. He's going after Muzan, the strongest of all demons, for this very reason. He didn't let such a tragedy bring him down. If anything, it let him focus more, such as the dream sequence in the Demon Slayer movie. We see him with his family and him wanting his family back. But he managed to wake up to reality and realize that it's all a dream. Anyone else would have just wanted to stay in that dream state forever, which shows his maturity as a person and doesn't let himself feel down over certain things when he easily can. He shows kindness throughout the series to several characters, and not only that, he actually changes a lot of characters as well. Look at Zenitsu. He was a bumbling coward throughout the first season, refused to do any form of training. But after seeing how Tanjiro goes out of his way to protect Nezuko, as well as his discipline to constantly train, this inspired Zenitsu. Now instead of lusting after every girl he sees, he now sees that it's his responsibility to not only protect Nezuko, but all women. Did we all think that Zenitsu would ever go face to face with an Upper Moon, let alone be one of the 2 Demon Slayers to kill Upper Moon 6 Daki? And speaking of the other character that did the killing blow to Daki in the Entertainment District arc, Inosuke changed so much thanks to Tanjiro. Go back to where we first meet him at the house with the drum demon. He straight up says he doesn't care about anything but killing demons and was willing to straight up kill Zenitsu because he was protecting Nezuko, and he was uncooperative with Tanjiro and Zenitsu at the beginning. Look at him later on during the Spider Mountain arc when he learns that going first and getting the kill isn't as important as cooperating with your comrades, and he praises Tanjiro for his way of thinking and starts thinking more strategically. Then look at him during the Mugen Train arc. He declares for everybody to hear that he's going to protect everybody, and he again praises Tanjiro for having good ideas. He is not the same person as he was when Tanjiro first met him. Throughout the series, we see Tanjiro display his kindness, but for me, two instances really stood out and made me appreciate and love his character. There was the one scene where Inosuke was eating Tanjiro's food and was basically rubbing it in that he's eating his food. But what does Tanjiro do? He gives him the whole bowl. The next scene is with Kanao, where he finds out that Kanao only listens to her master's orders and only does any action depending on the flip of a coin. It's basically like Harvey Dent from Dark Knight. But Tanjiro sees this and immediately takes the coin and says if the coin flips on his head, Kanoe will have to take decisions from her heart and finally be herself. It just happened to land on heads, but then Tanjiro says straight after if it landed on tails, he would have constantly flipped the coin until it landed on heads. The compassion he has for other people is ridiculous. He wants people to be the best versions of themselves. It's like he's everyone's big brother and he sees everyone else as his younger siblings that he has to help in some way. And all of this boils back to the first episode with the tragedy of his family. Despite everything he's been through, all the demons he's faced, all the hellish training he had to endure, he still goes out of his way to not only be kind to people, but also inspire other characters to be better people, as we saw with Inosuke, Zenitsu and Kanui. In season 2 of Demon Slayer, we meet Gyataro and Daki, who are both brothers and sisters, as Upper Moon 6. And we know Nezuko and Tanjiro are also brothers and sisters. I feel Tanjiro and Nezuko, if they let their despair get to them, they would have ended up being like Gyataro and Daki. Gyataro was bitter, and to be fair, he did have it bad with his circumstances. Constantly overlooked, beaten up, talked down to as if he was lower than scum. That would make anyone bitter. Demon Slayer, as a simple story as it is, it fully displays the harsh reality of life. Not all people are friendly. You will end up running into horrible people, if it's at work, on your travels, or anywhere really. But Gyataro and Daki had it bad straight from childhood, literally since the day they were born. So in a way, you can definitely see why Gyataro is so hateful towards humans. Even when he meets Tengen for the first time, he immediately judges him, saying that he was born with talent and good looks, so his life must have been easy. But what he doesn't realize is that Tengen himself went through so much hardship, and even he knows he messed up a few good times throughout his own life. But of course, Gyataro wouldn't have any of that and just continues to be spiteful towards Tengen. But like Gyataro, Tanjiro also had a harsh life. His dad passed away and was essentially the man of the house and the breadwinner for his family. He then sees all of his family members dead, with his sister becoming a demon with a highly likely chance of her never becoming a human again. And even then, there's still a chance of Nezuko killing Tanjiro, as we saw in the Entertainment District arc. So Tanjiro himself never had it easy. But look at both of these characters. One ended up becoming a demon, whilst the other is moving up the ranks of the Demon Corps as a Demon Slayer, with also having Nezuko as his backup, despite her becoming a demon. Tanjiro never complained about his circumstances. He chose to move forward with his reality and do what he can to save Nezuko, whilst Gyataro complained about his situation and felt sorry for himself and let himself and his sister be consumed by demon magic. That is what Demon Slayer is trying to show us through Tanjiro as its main character. No matter how bad the situation is, never stop being kind and helping others, otherwise you will end up becoming bitter and hateful like Gyataro. Thank you for watching this video. I hope some of my ramblings made sense. In anime nowadays, we have so many characters that are in the grey area of are they good, are they bad? It's so refreshing to have Tanjiro as a main character who we clearly can see is a full-on good guy, which made me have so much respect for his character. There will be more Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen content coming from this channel, so stay tuned for those videos. Let me know what you think of Tanjiro's character down below in the comments. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Shaman Truck.